Hello everybody and welcome back to our channel. Today we'll be reviewing the Paros modular modern sofa. It lies on the ground, no high feet. Let's dive in. I started describing how the Paros sofa does not have high feet because, well, it's a matter of fashion. There have been a few years in which sofas with high feet were very fashionable. They still are, but there has been a comeback to sofas with no feet at all. And actually, the Paros sofa is supported by these 7 centimeters base, which goes all around the structure. It's normally covered with the same fabric of the rest of the sofa. It does have feet, indeed, but they are 2.5 centimeters high. They are quite pushed towards the back, so you don't really perceive them. So you perceive the Paros sofa as if it was lying on the ground. The Paros sofa is indeed a modular sofa in the sense that you can combine different units, different elements. We start with the armrest, which is 25 centimeters wide, all in one version, and we can say that the depth of the armrest and thus the depth of the sofa is 100 centimeters. So it's a voluminous model, but reasonably compact in terms of depth. And then we have the seats, and we have the 80 centimeters and the 100 centimeters. These are 100 and 100, okay? Then we have the corner element, which is 100 by 100, and it allows to create actual corner compositions. And we have this very interesting dormeuse chaise-longue unit, which is 105 by 180. The fact that it is 105, it is because it is 80 plus 25, and this element here is as if it were a big armrest, because it is built like an armrest, but it moves on towards the end of the chaise-longue. There's one aspect to share about the configuration process of the Paros sofa, because when you configure the different elements, you don't have included these back cushions, and you need to add these back cushions on their own. And this is because you can have these back cushions with the width of 60 centimeters, 80 centimeters, and 100 centimeters. And why this is so? Because you can choose the way you want to interpret the Paros sofa, stylistically speaking, because I'll give you this example. On an 80 centimeter seat, I can either use the 60 centimeters backrest or the 80 centimeters, and on the 100 centimeters seat, I can either use the 60, 80, or the 100. And what it means is that, for example, here we have 100 centimeter seat, 80 centimeters backrest, okay? If we were using a 100 centimeter backrest on the 100 centimeter seat, this would be the effect we would have. Basically, both from the front and from the back, we would not perceive this gap that I do perceive. It's around 20 centimeters when I'm using smaller back cushions. And this has to do mainly with the looks, partially with the way you feel the comfort of the sofa. So what is your take about this topic? Do you like the sofa to have these sort of openings, or do you prefer the back cushions to be filling the whole width of the sofa? Write it in the comments. Well, so let's speak about the comfort. Well, we start from the structure. It has a wooden structures. It has interwoven elastic bands that support the fillings. The fillings are all polyurethane foams in different densities, and I can tell you that, well, of course, comfort is subjective, but it's very comfortable. You don't sink in. The seat height is rather low. It is 40 centimeters, and I'm not saying it's the lowest you can find, but normally most often you find 41, 42. You can feel that 40 is rather low. I do like it. And well, the back cushions are with feathers. They are feathers in separate chambers, so they don't move around, and the overall feel is very comfortable. I cannot rest my neck unless I move my bottom forward, but of course this is a different sitting style. And I can tell you that if I move the cushions, the back structure, the counter backrest. It is, of course, solid because it has a solid wood structure underneath, but it has quite a dense feeling, especially on the front. It gives this round, this gives you this round shape, and it's rather comfortable to sit like this as well. In that case, you would not know where to place the back cushions, but you can imagine the Paros sofa to be used like this, and it's rather comfortable in this setting as well. The Paros sofa can be upholstered with any material of our collection, so fabrics, faux leathers, natural leathers, velvets, and I can tell you that in leather it's amazing because it's manufactured in the Brianza way, which means that it's made with very big pieces of leather, so you don't see many joints, and it has a very clean design. But let's focus on fabric. Here we have the fabric New Manhattan, and we have a cushion with Apollo, and these are new fabrics in our collections. They are polyester based with a tiny percentage of linen, but basically they are synthetic, I can tell you, and this gives you certain features and certain performance because they are machine washable. They do not shrink when you wash them at 30 degrees. They have anti-stain features, and especially the New Manhattan, it's very thick. It's something like 900 grams for a meter, and it conveys a sense of firmness onto the sofa as well, because you know not only aesthetics but also your tactile perception and also your comfort perception might change based on the fabric or the leather that you choose, because for example with a softer, thinner fabric you would see more wrinkles, more folds, and with a big strong fabric like this you perceive it as being more tighter, and with a slightly difference, you could perceive it as being firmer. Anyway, then on the sample collection, you find all the colors. This is Tortora, dark gray, and well, this is of course a color which matches pretty much anything, but of course you can be bolder and go on stronger accent colors. One note about the upholstery of the Paros sofa. Its upholstery is completely removable in fabric and even in leather, which is quite exceptional, I would say. At the same time, you must bear in mind that it's definitely not easy to remove the fabric and place it back. It requires some work, more than other sofas, because all the pieces here, the base, the seat, the back, are attached together, and so you can remove the upholstery, but to do it, you need to disassemble the parts, and so in the meantime that you wash it in your washing machine or you bring it to the dry cleaner, you would have a disassembled sofa. This is something you need to take into consideration, and this is the reason why we suggest for the Paros sofa practical materials, either leather, faux leather, or anti-stain fabrics, so that you decide to wash it less often. This is our suggestion. So we've come to the end of today's product review about the Paros modular modern sofa. No feet, it lies on the ground. See you next time.